Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're having a discussion from a video from Splue. So, original video will be linked in the description. The title is Why Dead by Daylight Sucks for New Players. So, I already have a lot to talk about with this topic, so I'm already curious to see what points he has to make here off the bat. And I just want to know, what are we in for today? Which looks like we have a Sanic looking character on the screen. So this is already gonna be off to a great start. This is gonna be great.
Game? Well, guess what? I am. And my god. Hi, are you new to this game? Well, guess what? I am. And
oh, I'm not, but welcome to DBD, I guess. Yo, let me see what he's got to say.
my god, do I have mixed feelings about this game already. I'm just going to go over some points as to why I think this game sucks for new players like myself. If you disagree, please tell me in the comments, please. Has anyone actually played the tutorial for this game? Because I did, just for the sake of this video, and my god, is it useless.
Yeah, I have to agree, actually. In recent memory, I've actually talked with somebody that was new to Dead by Daylight. You know, we had a conversation, and I was trying to give him a little bit of coaching, which if you want to get coached by me, you know, you can either submit a gameplay in the Discord. So join the Discord. You can submit a full gameplay. Just make sure you include your hours played and stuff like that. Put it in the coaching channel or whatever have you, and then we can actually make a video doing a match review and stuff like that. And I also think I forgot to, I don't know if it's included in the list for the members on YouTube, but if you're a YouTube member, Patreon, you also can get coaching as well, live coaching, stuff like that. So if you want to do that, you know what to do. So, with that being said, I was speaking with somebody who was new to DBD, was kind of giving them some coaching, trying to kind of, you know, ease them into the process of Dead by Daylight, because I know that taking the plunge into this game can be very challenging. And so, you know, first and foremost, I get it, you know what I mean? I didn't have any help or any guide when I went in, you know, I pretty much kind of went in blind, tried to figure out how to play, and then from there was doing research and trying to improve accordingly. And I do have to agree that the tutorial, because I even just looking at at this player, like, use the tutorial, I was like, it gives you the very basics of controls. Like, it's like, okay, press space to vault, you know, press, you know, left click to swing, you know. And I was like, okay, like, that's cool and all. You get the very basic fundamentals, but that's the very, like, last bit of help you get. You know, everything else is just get in there and do whatever. And it's like, damn, you know? It's kind of insane, actually. Now, of course, like, have the community released, like, many a video, like, talking about, hey, here's how you play this character, here's the buttons you press, here's how you do this thing, here's how you do that thing. And, you know, I try to create content that's a bit more for the experienced, at least understand the basics, not like brand spanking new, like I just installed an hour ago kind of content. Because me personally, when I watch guides, I have to fast forward through the press left click to do this, press right click to do that. And I'm like, I already know this. And it wastes like half the video talking about it. And I'm like, I don't got time for that, right? But anyway. Which, speaking of guides, I did drop a Chucky guide, a little bit of a short and sweet tips video for you guys that want to learn Chucky. We have a video for that. And if you guys want to see a full Chucky guide, let me know on that video. But yeah, I 100% agree that, with this guy, with Mr. Sanic, here, that it's very true. It's very true that the tutorial is absolutely awful for new players.
Also, as I'm doing these voiceovers, I just thought it'd be really cool to change my guy for the sake of the video. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Bang, bitch. Anyway.
Yo, he made him look like Trapper, bro. Yo! Now it's Sanic doing a DVD crossover. This is crazy. Let's go.
Imagine learning how to swim in a bathtub, yeah? Then you're just thrown in the fucking ocean. That's kind of how this tutorial makes you feel in a way. Honestly, go try it and you'll see what I mean. Trust me. Listen, I'm just gonna say, okay, this game is fucking pay to win.
Hard disagree. I've heard this point before on stream as well. Hard disagree. I wouldn't say it's a directly pay to win kind of game. Because technically speaking, especially when you're in the low to average MMRs, which I know crazy, we're gonna start talking about MMR again, but when you first start out, you can win with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you're fully capable of doing that. Especially with the experience level with your character and stuff like that. Just like any game, you can basically, especially at average, you know, low to average, you're gonna be able to win with anybody. Now, are there certain characters that are objectively stronger than others? Of course, it applies to any game. And the best comparison I can make is like a fighting game. Like, you wouldn't look at, you know, a character like I don't even know, dude. I wish I had a better comparison, but you wouldn't look at most characters on there and go, well, that character is a DLC, so it's pay to win because he's strong. It's like, yeah, but you can also win with Dan, you know, and Street Fighter, you know what I mean? It was like universally supposed to be a joke character. Like, he's won tournaments. I know at least one player that's won tournaments with him, and stuff like that. And I mean, I could talk about, you know, tier lists all day and every day and all that kind of stuff, but ultimately, you know, I wouldn't entirely go pay to win. I would say pay for an advantage, maybe, but I wouldn't say like just because you pick a character, you automatically get a win. Like, that's not something that I entirely agree with. I wouldn't say that that's normally what happens. Just because, like, if say a new player clicked on Trapper versus clicked on Blight, they're still gonna struggle, right? Because like Blight is, you have to understand angles, understand these different things. And if you're not able to do that, then you're basically not going to be able to win that. Versus like, you know, say Trapper or something like that, you may also struggle, but the power's a little more simple and it's a bear trap. So most people kind of understand, okay, it's a trap, put it on a place that they can step on, you know?
They only give you 5 killers out of a possible 38. Well, how do you unlock more killers, I hear you ask? It's simple. You just simply pay for them with your money. I mean, yeah, you have the iridescent shard things, but my god, is this a fucking ball ache to get? And I felt physically sick when I found out I couldn't get certain killers with these shards. Like Michael Myers, my favourite horror character of all time. You have to use...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a licensed crossover character. I don't think any game ever, when they do a crossover, they give it to you for free. You know what I mean? So I kind of had to, like, you know, I do agree that, like, the earning the characters is already, like, a crazy grind. But ultimately, any crossover in any game ever, right, with DLC and talking about, hey, you could play as this character from this franchise on this video game, it's like you're gonna have to buy it. Like, that's just how it works, you know what I mean? So if you wanted, which mind you, if you just wanted Myers, it's $5. So at least it's not like you're buying the full chapter that could easily range from 10 or 15 or even 20. I mean, 20 for like the whole pack, I should say, because I know they bundled them all up, I should say. You know, but yeah.
Use auric cells, which is basically what you pay real money to turn into this shit. Like, yeah, I understand it's for the licensed characters like Chucky and Mike Myers and all them, but still it sucks, man. But these characters you don't start with have some fucking OP perks, man. And it's the same shit for the survivors. So when you buy the game, you're basically only buying like 20% of the game. If you're still watching, thank you. Also subscribe. I'm trying to see how many subs I can get by just using paint and talking about shit I like. Back to the video. Okay, let's talk about the community in this game, because holy shit. This game is so fucking toxic and I'm here for it. I mean, shit.
I do agree with that as well. The only other community I've ever seen that is close to as toxic as DBD has got to be For Honor. And yo, For Honor is incredibly toxic. Like, you think that having a rule book, like an unspoken rule book and all that kind of stuff was like active in DBD. Like, if For Honor is like the same exact thing. I remember that like they have these things where you can go 2v2s where you can like you can basically be yourself and a teammate go against 2 other players who are also on a team. And what they would do is like they would essentially have 2 1v1s in the map. That was the unspoken rule. You sit there, you 1v1 your guy. If you win, you stand there, you let them finish their fight, then you can start the 1v1 with the guy. If you decided to start swinging at the other fight or start running over there, it was considered toxic, and then people would start, they would call it ganking. And basically they would get frustrated and they would try to come after you. They would literally have like 2 people on the same team like would attack the one guy because he did that, while their teammate, you know, if they respected the rule, they would stand there and let their teammate die out of respect, so that they would, you know, they would all be like playing with honor, if you will, like fairly. And I've seen that before as well. Another rule that they had was like they had executions, kind of like Mori's in DBD, right? But you can do that when you finish off your opponent. So when you like finish them off with a hit, you can do an animation to kill them, and then you get your health back. So another thing that was like an unspoken rule was like you're not supposed to cancel their execution. Like, you're not supposed to hit them or grab them or anything like that. You're supposed to let them finish the animation, and then you can start the fight. So I've seen that happen as well. It's kind of insane. Another thing they had was like emote spamming, right? Which was basically like you could press a button on your controller or key on your mouse or keyboard, and if you like, you can move and it'll cancel the animation. So people would basically like hold forward, like hold W or whatever, and then like press the emo button and like keep canceling it to taunt their opponent, which is also considered a toxic, you know, BM or whatever. And what was funny was like if you're locked on and you emote you like the guy in front of you, but you don't emote cancel, you just do like the normal animation, like, oh, I'm gonna get you, and you like point at him or something, like, then, you know, that was fine. It was like, okay, yeah, you're cool, you know. Another thing they had was they were able to, like, you had like a little like mini chat that would say like good fight. And what people would do is they would just like spam like good fight, or another one was like thanks when they were like when they were upset or whatever, you know. What does that sound a lot like? You know, it sounds a lot like DBD, right? There's a lot of little unspoken rules and little things that we just look at, and from an outside perspective we sit there and we go, what do you like, how is that toxic, right? Like, how is that like even a thing, you know what I mean, as an outsider? But like when you're within the game, it's like that type of stuff can be considered toxic, right? Or like it's considered like BM, or like, you know, teabagging is a universal thing that obviously we all know within gaming. But obviously if we're considering like hitting on hook or something, that might be unique to DBD, I would say. Like the pointing, you know, the waving to come here and stuff like that to the killer and things like that. You know, stuff like that. It's interesting to look at it from an outside perspective when you think about it.
I've played games like Call of Duty, CSGO, and nothing compares to this game. This game is so toxic. And the beautiful part about it is people can be toxic without even speaking to you or typing to you, just from what they're doing in the game. Whether that's teabagging you at a door, flashbanging your ass, flashlighting your ass, sabotaging hooks, just making builds that make your life hell. And then when the match...
Which, yo, this guy's brave for saying all of that, because you know that there's gonna be a bunch of survivor remains flying into the comment section saying that's not toxic, but it's like, but it's like nobody wants to go against that. Like, what are you talking about?
Is over, you better get ready for that GGEs, or you better get ready for some abuse, or you better get ready for some shit that's gonna get thrown on your Steam profile. This game honestly brings out the worst in people. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, which is my biggest issue, is the matchmaking. The matchmaking in this game is horrendous. It's really confusing how this works. It's basically a complete mystery when you first start the game. You have no way of tracking what games you're being thrown into. You're either going to get fucking steamrolled one game by some sweaty survivors or killer, or you're playing against the stupidest people on the planet and it's not even rewarding when you win. Which makes the game so hard to learn when you can't just get a decent match on the go, man. I found this guy on Reddit which kind of explained it really well, but this basically summarises it. On the same sort of page as matchmaking comes...
Which I can talk a lot about MMR, you know what I mean? We all can, as players, can kind of take a wild guess when it comes to a lot of things with MMR and things like that. And that's sort of as far as it kind of goes, because we ultimately don't know. Like, we don't know directly, you know, what the case may be. Like, we don't exactly know. We don't exactly know at all, right? Like, what MMR we're at, or like what kind of player level we're at. But what I will say is a good rule of thumb is usually just kind of taking a look at like who you're up against, right? At least as a killer player, when it comes to that, because I can speak more on that because I have a little bit more knowledge when it comes to that topic. Now, it's a little bit hard to tell because I know a lot of players probably haven't like even seen like how good like Survivor players can be, to be able to distinguish like, okay, these guys are definitely like very strong compared to these guys, and I can understand that completely. But what I will say is, like, you can kind of tell by, you know, if you pay a lot of attention to maybe different creators and kind of, you know, you'll be able to over time be able to kind of understand, you know, these guys are going to be pretty strong. And it's hard to explain, but basically it's usually if like you see them are like their pathing is very good, where it's very hard to catch up to them, and like they're able to utilize their like the pallets very well and stuff like that. Just it's very hard to explain, and I really don't know how to explain it. It's one of those things where if you see it, you can point it out and go, that's it right there. There it is, you know what I mean? But like to verbalize it's a little tricky, I'd say.
The skill gap issue in this game. You know what I mean? You know when you're doing a generator and the guy comes along to help you do said generator and he just fucking blows it up 3 times in a row and you're like, oh my god. Or we can talk about looping.
Yeah, that right there specifically definitely ties a lot to the... It ties a lot into the lower level players and stuff like that. It happens, you know, and I get it, you know what I mean? It happens. You know, I haven't, like, obviously I can't say much, you know, I haven't played Survivor in God knows how long, but we've all been there, we've all seen that, you know, and we get it. Okay, what the heck? Also, he's bringing up this like diagram about a loop or something, but I've never seen this before. Like, what the heck is this? Like, no tile looks like this. Like, what the hell? I mean, maybe like a rock or something, but like that's not really a tile, bro. Like, what? You can't use this as an example, like, bro. Like, this is not a real tile. I don't think there's any tile in the game that's this small. Like, it would actually be a lot thinner and longer than that. Because the L shape, like here, like you could say it's a part of a TNL, but the L is usually longer than this. And then there's a window vault there, but they didn't point that. That wasn't a part of the diagram. And then the T is obviously not there either, so you can't even like point out that there's a vault there. Like, this isn't a good example of a loop.
Looping is the most confusing shit when you're starting this game off, man. There's so many different loop spots and loop things you have to know. Oh, it's annoying.
This I understand, obviously, from playing the game, but basically, it's, you know, for the general rule of thumb, I obviously can't give you that much of information when I talk about this. But ultimately, pallet window, very good. Use it. You know, you want to vault because it's very safe to vault. And then you want to rotate back to pallet to threaten to get the stun off. And that's your defense. and then you chain it to that defense on the right with the blue window. You want to go from pallet and window. Like, those are the two strongest things as your defense in the game. And ultimately, looping is to waste a killer's time, as probably most obvious thing to say, but it's what it's for. Now, can I give much information about that? Not really. I can tell you how to counter it, but I can't really tell you how to do it effectively.
And then there's shit like god pallets that you've got to understand on each map. If I had a penny for how many times I just threw the god pallet down straight away, I'd be a rich man. I'd be a rich man. Don't even get me started on 360, and man, it's even more confusing. So there's me with about 30 hours in the game compared to some people playing with like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I'm like,
Yo, don't even tell them about hens and odds and stuff with like 9k, 10k, Little Thoman with like 10k hours. Don't even tell them. His mind is gonna, like, his brain is gonna melt, dude.
I just can't compete. I can't physically compete. And don't even get me started on tunneling, man. Holy shit. If you're getting tunneled, you're basically out of the game, and you can't really do anything about it when you're a new player, because you don't have any of the perks essential to counter tunneling. This is going to be a quick one, and I think there are too many options in this game for new players in terms of perks and survivors. It's all just fucking confusing.
But yeah, that kind of covers a good amount of points, I would say. If you want to watch the original video, it's linked in the description. And yeah, you know, check out the original video to watch the rest. But hopefully some of the points I covered will help clear a couple things up. And let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. Do you also agree with these points that he's making? Do you disagree? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, support with the links in the description. You can support the channel if you want to follow on Twitch to watch me play Killer live. We have that there. Join the Discord to join the community and have discussions about DVD and other topics. And yeah, I appreciate you guys making it this far into the video, man. Watch the other videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.